It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth a hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, two great middle school teams here to play, one of whom will be going on to play Greenbelt for the chance to become the last of our 4 semifinalists in the middle school competition. Play along and test your own scientific literacy today. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Kenmoor Middle School, would you say hello to, please, Sarai D'Souza, John Watson, and Mizan Abraha. And from William Wirt, here they are, Christopher Martinez, David Menendez, and Carmen Rovira. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's science potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. Easy questions on the left, worth 5 and 10. Tougher ones, 15, 20, ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play, as we were saying at the top of the show, Greenbelt Middle School, for the chance to join the other 3 semifinalists playing for this year's county championship in this, our 33rd year here in Prince George's schools. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly. John at the Kenmoor team. John, would you try your buzzer? Looks and sounds good. We welcome John and Sarai back, both veterans of the game. And Mizan, nice to have you here for the first time. And David, would you try the green team's buzzer? Okay, it looks and sounds good as well. David, welcome back to you. And Chris and Carmen, nice to have you for the first time. Congratulations to all 6 of you for representing your school. You're all good ambassadors. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically, K before W. So, John and Kenmoor, let's play this bowl.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, the iPhone 10 says it has a liquid display named for this. Yes, Kenmoor.
Retina.
Retina, yeah, the photosensitive layer at the back of the eye, the liquid retina display. Yes, indeed. Good. Go red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Get physical for 10 points. Astronomers think that about 10 billion years ago, the Milky Way gobbled up another one of these, Kenmoor.
Galaxies.
Yeah. So as soon as I say Milky Way, you think galaxy. And by saying another one, so it must be one in addition to what we've already mentioned. Yeah. Good. Go.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, if you are in the kitchen and you're marinating meat, you're going to need this kind of chemical that turns litmus paper red. William Wirt.
Acid.
Acid, yeah, you need some acid in there to marinate some meat. Good, Dave, go.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, inside a thermometer, the empty space has what same name as the empty space that we find in outer space. Kenmoor.
Vacuum.
Vacuum, yeah, there's a vacuum in there. Nicely done. Go, red.
Body systems for 15.
For 15 points in body system. Teams, these chemicals help you clean your contact lenses. They help you to marinate meat. They help you to digest your foods.
Acids.
Not acids. Good try. Kenmoor. Listen again, William Wirt. These chemicals help you to clean your contact lenses, marinate meat, and also digest your food. They are what E-initialed chemicals.
Enzymes.
Enzymes. That's it. You would have known it, John, if you'd listened just a little longer. Good. Green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, I went to school with a girl. Her name was cerebellum. Well, the cerebellum is also part of your brain. Kenmoor.
The Cerebral cortex?
Not cerebral cortex. It's going to be a far different thing I want you to do. William Wirt, I don't want you to spell the girl's name cerebellum. I want you to spell cerebellum, the part of your brain that helps you control your balance. Who's going to be my speller?
Me.
Okay, Dave, say the word for me nice and loud so I know you understand me.
Cerebellum.
Cerebellum. Okay, give it a shot.
Cerebellum.
You got it, young man. You nailed it. Got the points. Good. Go green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, if you mix copper with iron, you get a strong alloy of this substance that's associated with Superman. He's the man of Kenmoor.
Steel.
Steel. Yep. Good. Green. Or red. Go.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, if you're eating green pasta, there's no artificial color in that pasta. That green color comes from what natural green pigment? Kenmoor?
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll, yeah. That's the thing that's found in all the plants. Go.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline science for 10 points. Let's check that score. Kenmoor 100, William Wirt 95. It's a close game. This is Dateline for 10 points. Teams, back in 1664, Robert Hooke discovered the red spot on Jupiter. That red spot is actually determined to be a giant one of these storms, William Wirt.
A hurricane?
Hurricane, yes, indeed. It never seems to stop moving. What a horrible place to be on Jupiter near that. Go. 5-point lead.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, you know, if you come to play Science Bowl and you haven't studied, you haven't prepared in any way, shape, or form, you're coming here to play it by what? Kenmoor?
Ear.
Ear. You're playing it by ear, which you guys definitely are not. Good. Go red.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, Harry Potter's most famous scar is something we associate with an electrical storm. Kenmoor.
Lightning? Lightning?
Yes, lightning or a lightning bolt. Yes, thank you, Sarai. Go red.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade, 10 points. Teams, you know, on one episode of SpongeBob, he and Patrick Star were electrocuted and we saw their skeletons. Well, in real life, they wouldn't have skeletons because starfish and sponges are these. Kenmoor?
Cephalopods?
Not cephalopods. William Wirt, they wouldn't have skeletons, that sponge and that starfish, because they are what?
Invertebrates?
Invertebrates, absolutely right. No vertebrate. Go. Green. Oh, hold that thought. That buzzer says we've come to the end of the first round. It is a tight game. Kenmoor's at 110, William Wirt at 115, and we'll be back in just a moment for the second round. See you then. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Nice to have you here today. And if you've been a fan of our show over the years, you probably recognize some of these young people because they have been here before. We're going to find out about that. Let's go over to Kenmoor Middle School, the winningest school in Science Bowl's 33-year history. So Kenmoor, you guys, you're always at the top of the pack. And John, tell us a little bit more about your school. Who's your principal?
Miss Fugly.
Miss Fudley, and I know how proud she is of you. Who's your sponsor?
Miss Novick.
Miss Novick, yes indeed, and she is I think she's the tag coordinator there.
Yes.
And when I told her we had an opening, she just jumped in because we knew that you guys wanted to play the game. Tell us about Kenmoor, John. What do you love about the school?
Well, they have so many options for groups, like the Bay Club, Science Bowl, environmental, basketball, and many others.
Someone told me that you had a philosophy club over there. Is that still going? Do you know of anything? It might have been just a one-time deal. John, tell me about yourself. How many times is this for you on Science Bowl?
This is my 4th time.
4th time. What do you like about the show?
I just love the science questions and the competition.
Well, you're very good at this, and tell us what you hope to do someday.
I want to be a research scientist or a geneticist.
Geneticist, and he has not wavered in that since the first time we met him, nor has he wavered in the politeness. John, it's a joy to have you here. Mizan, nice to have you here for the first time. Tell us the Mizan story. What do you do in your spare time?
I read books, science fiction, and mystery books.
Yeah. Why'd you want to do this?
You get to meet new friends, you learn more. It's
Isn't that
cool.
the truth? Yeah, a chance to network and try something you've not tried before because that's how you grow in life. And what do you hope to do someday?
I want to be an ecologist or wildlife biologist.
How'd you get interested in those things?
Nature shows. I really like nature.
Yeah. Sometimes you can get hooked on the Animal Planet or National Geo. You know, some of the photography is amazing. And Sarai, nice to have you back again. Does everything. She's a scholar, as I was calling her. She's a musician and she's an athlete. She plays soccer. What instruments do you play?
Cello, guitar, and ukulele.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite among them?
Guitar.
All right. And what team do you play for? Do you play for a soccer team?
I play for 3 teams. I play for Bowie Boys and Girls Club, like on their travel team.
Okay.
I play for Burnley on their travel team, and then I play on Maryland's Olympic development program.
Wow. We're going to see you in the Olympics someday. I mean, I can see you in the Olympics. I don't know how you have time for this. You got a really full life. Tell me what you do want to do someday.
I want to be an aerospace engineer.
Aerospace. You're obviously a good math student as well. Nice to have you back. William Wirt, nice to have you here. David, nice to have you back again. You played for Rogers Heights, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, and I remember John telling us I want to go back to John for just a moment. You played for what school?
Highland Park.
Highland Park. And Sarai, you played for? Glenarden Woods. So those elementary schools that feed into our middle schools. And we'll go back to David. My apologies for interrupting you there. Tell me about William Wirt. Where is William Wirt?
It's in Riverdale.
Riverdale, yes. I think I read that maybe you are destined for a new school over there, you know, in the not too distant future. That will not do you any good right now. But William Wirt, a fine school. Who's your principal there?
Miss Simley.
Wonderful. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Dr. Herrera.
Dr. Herrera, that's right. He's been working closely with you, and I know he's kept me up to date on changes to the team, but he obviously sent some good young people here today. What do you like about the school, Dave?
There's a lot of after-school programs. Such as baseball, basketball, science bowl, and a bunch of others.
That's great, yeah, and you need those extracurricular activities. Dave, what do you want to do someday?
Mechanical engineer for the military.
Wonderful. Well, you're a very disciplined young man, and you're a good player, and you know your stuff. And it's good to have you back today. Chris, tell us about yourself. You want to be an architect, don't you? What do you want to design?
Buildings.
Buildings. What kind of buildings?
I think skyscrapers.
Yeah, skyscrapers. They're the hot properties now. Everybody wants to come up with some distinctive building that everyone can point to. What do you do in your spare time?
I read and I also listen to music.
That's wonderful. What kind of music do you like?
Rock.
Rock. All right. All right. And Carmen, how about you? Why'd you want to be on the Science Bowl?
Because it's more encouraging to other subjects.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, because everything is STEM now, or STEAM. Everything seems to be related, and that's just the way life is. You can't compartmentalize life. What do you want to do someday?
Be a mathematician for NASA.
For NASA? Boy, you said that one right away. Why do you love NASA so much?
Because, I read this book, I forgot what it was called, but it was about 3 women who,
I think it was called Hidden Figures.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, wasn't that a great book? Did you see the movie?
Yes.
Yes, and those ladies who were not treated with all that respect back then, they were responsible for John Glenn getting into space and keeping him there. So you're going to follow in the footsteps of Miss Johnson. I think she's the only one that's still alive. Thanks for sharing that with us. Let's get back to the game. 110 for Kenmoor, 115 William Wirt. Green team, advantage. David, where?
Let's get physical for 20.
Physical for 20 points. All right, teams, let's see how much you know about the solar system. This largest moon of Saturn, yes, Kenmoor. What you got? John?
I would like to pass it to Sarai.
You jumped in right away. Oh boy, William Wirt, this largest moon of Saturn, the only moon in the solar system that has an atmosphere and clouds, is actually the second largest moon in the solar system. Can you name it?
Titan.
You got that right, David. It is indeed Titan. Good. Ganymede is the largest. Go again.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, these 2 short words, one, a kind of evergreen tree, and the other, the hair that you find on the outside of a mammal, are homonyms. Name the word, John.
Fur.
Fur, yes. F-U-R and F-I-R. Good. Go. Red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, if you grow crops for consumption, that is agriculture. If you grow flowers for display, that is horticulture. And if you farm fish, that's called this. aquaculture. Aquaculture. Try again, red.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade, 20 points. Teams, if you are entomophobic, you hate bugs. If you're lepidopterophobic, you hate these bugs in particular, but they're so pretty.
Butterflies.
Kenmoor. Butterflies, that's right. Lepidoptera is the order of butterflies and moths. Go again, red.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. This is kind of disturbing to think about. But the smell of this green thing when it's cut is actually a distress call. David.
Grass.
Grass. When you cut the grass, that smell, it's like all those little grass blades are saying, help me. Go green.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. All right, teams. Even though Juul is said to be safer than smoking, it still contains this addictive chemical.
Nicotine.
Kenmoor.
Nicotine.
Nicotine is right. Yes, indeed. All right, look at that score. We're tied up at 140 all. Red advantage.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. The only living relative of the extinct elephant bird is this national symbol. William Wirt?
Kiwi.
Yeah, the national symbol of the island country of New Zealand. Absolutely right. Tiny eyes, because we thought even the elephant bird was almost blind. Good answer. Go green.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Two-part answer. Recently in the news, you remember there was a man, someone sending bombs to all these prominent politicians. The FBI found him very quickly because he left 2 pieces of evidence that, yes, Kenmoor, what 2 things identified him? What you got?
Fingerprints and hair.
Fingerprints and hair. The judges say yes, absolutely right, because the hair contained the DNA. Good. Red.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline science for 15 points. We're tied again. Let's see if this will break the tie. Every year, the city of Chicago dyes the Chicago River green on St. Patrick's Day using a vegetable dye that has been approved by the EPA. Kenmoor.
Environmental Protection Agency?
That's it. That's what the EPA stands for. Go.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, tricky question. Listen carefully. If you put a D at the end of the name of this green thing, you have a synonym for being cornered. Yes, Kenmoor.
Trapped?
Not trapped. Good try. If you put a D at the end of this green thing, you have a synonym for being cornered. Treed, T-R-E-E-D, like you treed, like an animal, like a raccoon is treed by a pack of dogs. Go again, red. You have a 15-point advantage.
Green things 20.
Green things for 20 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, if you would, please, teams. This is an alliterative question. These furled figures are the future fronds of what kinds of F-initialed plants? David.
Ferns.
Ferns, yeah, those are fiddleheads that are little baby ferns. Good, go.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, back in 1962, Rosalind Franklin did not share the Nobel Prize in Medicine for the discovery of this molecule that went to Maurice Wilkins, James Watson, and Francis Crick. What did they discover? David.
Anthrax?
Not anthrax. This important molecule. Kenmoor. Maurice Wilkins, James Watson, Francis Crick in 1962, the Nobel for the discovery of? DNA. DNA, the double helix. Go again, green. You have a 5-point lead, David.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25 points. All right, we're getting to the tougher questions here. Pigeons do not have mammary glands, but they do make milk in their crop for their babies, which means mama pigeons don't have to go around trying to find insects and worms because that milk contains what important bodybuilding? Kenmoor.
Protein?
Protein. There's plenty of protein in that milk. You don't have to get it from the bugs. Good. Red.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, you know that your human heart has 4 chambers. I will give you 25 points if you can tell me which of the 4 has the thickest walls and is the strongest. Of the 4, thickest walls and the strongest, Kenmoor.
The right atrium.
Not the right atrium. Good try. All right, you're down to 3 possibilities, Dave and Carmen and Christopher. Which of the 4 chambers of the heart, thickest walls and is strongest?
Left atrium.
Left ventricle, the one at the bottom that pumps all that blood out through the aorta to the rest of the body. No points go red.
Let's get physical for 25.
Physical for 25 points. 2-part question. On the periodic table of elements, the most reactive chemical is potassium with the letter K. The least reactive is platinum with the symbol PT. Right behind platinum, and being very low in reactivity, are these 2 precious metals. Give me their symbols. Give me their symbols. Kenmoor. What you got?
C and G?
C and G? No.
Z.
No. William Wirt, behind platinum are 2 precious metals that are not very reactive. I'll give you the 25 points if you can give me the symbols for those 2 elements.
AU and AG.
You got it. AU is gold and AG is silver. Yes, sir. Good. Go.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, lignin and pectin and cellulose are the non-digestible parts of the plant. We know them by this simple name. Kenmoor. William Wirt, talk among yourselves in case I have to come to you.
The stem?
Not the stem. Lignin, pectin, cellulose, non-digestible parts of the plant. We know them as this.
Wood.
Fiber, non-digestible. 2 questions left, 195 to 200. A lot hangs on these 2 questions here. Dave, you pick it.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points. All right, teams. Materials that have a very low ignition point and are prone to burst into flames without any provocation.
Hydrocarbons?
No. Kenmoor, what do we call it when a material has a very low ignition point and it can burst into flames with no provocation?
Spontaneous combustion?
Yes, spontaneous combustion. Last question of the game, Dateline for 25 points. Teams, to help keep objects in space from floating away from the astronauts, they use this toy that was, yes, John?
A tether.
Not a tether. All right. William Wirt, this is a 25-point question. You get this, you win the game. You miss it, Kenmoor takes home the chance to come back. Here's your question. To keep objects from floating away in space, astronauts use this toy that was actually accidentally discovered when during World War II they were trying to find a substitute for rubber. Name that toy.
Slinky.
Correct answer is silly putty. Silly putty, which means Kenmoor is going to be our possible semifinalist here. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Welcome back. One of the judges was saying during our break here, this was one of the most exciting Science Bowl games ever, and she has been a judge here for 31 years. It was that indeed. 6 outstanding young people here today. They couldn't have done any finer. Congratulations to all of them. Our final tally today is William Wirt 200, Kenmoor 220. So John and Ms. On and Sarai, congratulations. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Ms. Novick, congratulations. Super. We will see you in our next game. And William Wirt, a nice round of applause over there. David, you are the man. Carmen and Chris, what a great assist you gave today. And Marcos back there, nice to have you part of the team. And Dr. Herrera, thank you for being part of Science Bowl. You always send us some outstanding young people here. And thank you for tuning in. See you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. Bye-bye.